This is Gardy with Clear Life Combat. I'm talking to Tyler Thackston. He's out in South Carolina. He's going to be in a title fight versus Nian Beck. That's January 12th for Elevate FC. You can watch on clearlifemedia.com pay-per-view. Tyler, how you doing today? How's it going?
Doing great, man. Just got done training a few of my athletes, about to get a second training session in myself.
Awesome. Okay. So if somebody hasn't had the opportunity to watch you fight, I guess, where are you out in South Carolina? Where do you train? And then let's find out a little bit about you.
Yeah, so I train in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, at RKM Kickboxing. And then I do my grappling at Kilo Delta BJJ, which is also the home of the Carolina Reapers Wrestling Club.
Awesome. If somebody hasn't seen you fight, how would you describe your style, and then why did you get into fighting?
I mean, you'd probably notice there's something different. I'm southpaw, so a lot of people, it doesn't take necessarily a skilled fighter to tell when somebody's left-handed. It always kind of looks weird, even in baseball and other sports. So that's probably the first thing they notice. Really, I started fighting. I always wanted to do it, but where I grew up in West Virginia, it's just a small town, not a lot going on over there. Didn't really have any options anywhere to really train. Grew up playing baseball and football, ended up playing college baseball, and that sort of consumed my life till graduated from college, got a couple big boy jobs, and it just what I was doing wasn't for me. And yeah, man, I just started training, got myself started working in personal training, and yeah, here I am now.
Yeah, having that background of being a collegiate athlete and then also the personal training side, I feel like it has to be a huge benefit in your own training and fighting, right?
Yeah, so I actually initially I was waiting tables whenever I first started training. I mean, I say just started training. I mean, I did like kind of like stuff on my own since I was probably like 20, 21 years old. Just doing bag work and stuff like that by myself, but like formal training. I mean, I didn't really start till my mid to late 20s. But I started doing the personal training after, and honestly, man, I did it as a way to, I really wanted to learn more of the ins and outs of training for martial arts. And then it just turned into a career. And now I train about eight or 10 kids, and then I've got about the same amount of adults as well. So it's turned into a full-time gig.
Yeah. How do you like it out there in South Carolina? What kind of led you out there? Was it sports?
Honestly, man, a fresh start. As I said earlier, there isn't really a lot going on where I'm from. Myrtle Beach, I mean, it was like stepping into a different universe. Although it's really not that big, it appeared huge to me at the time, just given where I'm from. It was really just a fresh start. I kind of partied a little too hard in college and maybe even a few years after, and I just wanted to see what else was out there besides hitting Third Avenue every weekend. So.
You have this offer. You're fighting a fighter that's undefeated as well. He's 3-0, Nian Beck. Have you heard anything about him? Have you watched any of his fights?
I let my coaches do all that, man. I don't really care. I'll let them assess his skills and all that, and I'll do what I always do, and that's train my ass off.
Yeah, what was it like for you? I guess even getting this offer, like how did that come? You from South Carolina, you're coming down to Houston to fight for Elevate FC.
So it actually came about because I had a title fight here in South Carolina, and the guy pulled out, and then they couldn't even find me an opponent. Just nobody wanted to fight. And a friend of mine that's affiliated with Elevate, that's down there in Texas, he sent me I think it was Chris Lopez had posted something about needing somebody that had at least 2 wins. And for a title fight against a 3-0 guy, and I said I'm in, and I messaged him, and at first he was a little ambivalent because he's like, dude, you're from South Carolina, like, are you gonna be able to get down here? And I reassured him that that wouldn't be an issue, and yeah, that's sort of how it got started.
Has it been, I guess, a good experience so far? And are you excited? Have you watched any of the Elevate content or fights just to see what you're stepping into?
I have a little bit. It looks like I think they started. Did they originally start with like BJJ, just some submission stuff?
Yeah, so there's the grappling side. So they still do that. There's even an event early next year. So yes, there's the grappling. So this one, it's Elevate Fight Night 1. There's going to be cage grappling. There's going to be kickboxing, and then also the 4 title fights in MMA. So this is going to be the first one that Elevate's done where it's a little bit of everything. But in the past, it's been those strictly MMA, and then there's been the grappling. So the cage grappling will be a first for this one. So yeah, there's still the 2 going on, and then this as well. So
It looks like it's ran well. I'm still early on, a little early in my career, so I don't have like a lot to base it off of. But from what I've seen and from the shows that I've done so far, it looks like Chris and the team over at Elevate does a very good job.
all right, you're talking about being early in your career. If you could like forecast even next year, what does that look like for you? And is there a main goal with fighting or even outside of fighting?
So I haven't looked out that far, but I can assure you that I definitely have some I'd call midterm goals. I intend on right now. I intend on winning this title, coming back and winning. I've got 2 situations from 2 different promotions here in South Carolina, where I'm next up for a title shot. So my goal is to come down there, win that title, and win these 2 titles. That'll put me at 6-0, and then I'll be ready to turn pro summer 2024. And then when that time comes around, man, I'll start to reassess. But right now, the goal is all about getting these 3 titles and turning pro.
Awesome. When I think of South Carolina, the first thing that comes to mind is golf. Is there a lot of golf out there? Do you play or anything like that?
So I don't, man. I'm not really that good at golf. Growing up, my dad, he was I told you earlier that I played baseball. My dad was a professional baseball player, and he was pretty strict on my training with baseball, and so strict to the point to where he actually didn't even really let me golf. Even when we'd come down here on vacation, he didn't want to mess up. He had this theory that it would mess up my baseball swing, so he didn't really let me golf a lot. Um, and to be honest, man, I'm so consumed with this stuff. I couldn't imagine turning to golf. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it'd be like the yang to the yin. I don't know. Maybe just with it being such a calm sport, but I'm more into this to this game.
Yeah, I agree. I have some family that's really into golf, and so I've been to South Carolina, and they'll go golf. And for me, I'm trying to search jiu-jitsu gyms, and where I was staying, there wasn't any, and so it was always it's beautiful. It's like, hey, this is awesome, but as far as that's all I would have. But with you having that baseball background, do you still follow any of the MLB, or what do you think about that Otani contract? Do you not have time for it?
To be honest, man, I don't really follow it a lot anymore. I used to be a big fan of the NFL too, and I just don't follow it a lot. The NFL, I stopped following it for slightly different reasons, but um, baseball not so much, because even when I played, man, I didn't really like. I'm sorry, but I just feel like it's hard to sit there and just watch 9 innings like on a TV unless it's some sort of championship game. Even as a baseball fan, I feel that way. But there's nothing like going to like a ballpark and spending the day there, with your family or loved ones, friends, whatever. I do get into that. I've been to a Myrtle Beach Pelicans game. It's like a little minor league team out of Myrtle Beach. So I do stuff like that. But as for following the MLB, not so much. But I do like to check in on my Yankees. I mean, you'd probably hear from me if the Yankees were making it back to the World Series.
Yeah, I would say, being a player, and then also playing at that collegiate level, it's going to be different than be like, hey, I'm going to watch this on TV. Unless for us down in Houston, and I'm not sure you probably, if you're a big fan of the Yankees, you're probably not a big fan of the Astros. But yeah, when a team has that success and they go deep, then that builds a lot of fans and stuff like that. So.
I don't have anything against the Astros, man. I'm pretty sure, didn't they get caught doing some sort of cheating though?
That's what they say, and they fined him and took picks away. But I mean,
Yeah, but
allegedly.
see, I don't even know about that because I don't even really mind that much,
Yeah, I got you. All right, so hey, bringing it back to Elevate. That's going to be January 12th. Tyler Thackston versus Nian Beck, 3-0 versus 3-0. It's going down. Elevate Fight Night 1. Tyler, is there anything else that you would like to share or let us know about?
No, man. I did want to give. I told my little athlete Alan that I'd give him a little shout out though. Hopefully, this will make it on the page. He just had his first fight about a month or so ago, and just giving him a shout out.
Awesome, Alan. So is that in MMA or what kind of?
He did his first IKF point kickboxing match, man. It was pretty special. I've told people multiple people that that's probably been my favorite win so far, was coaching him. It was pretty emotional. It's good to see somebody that's been through what he has so far, only being 8 or 9 years old, and being able to inspire him to get out there and do something that he would have never even thought twice of doing prior to our relationship. But now he got out of his circle and he went in and whooped butt, got the win, and yeah, man, he's my dude.
Yeah. And I've talked to a lot of fighters and coaches and even families of fighters. What's that like, I guess, the different aspect of you making the walk to the cage or to the fighter or the match, and then being the coach and making that walk to somebody that you believe in and poured into? What's the difference?
It's definitely a lot easier as a coach, and it's easy to sit there, because he's not the only person that I've coached. But it's easy to sit there and tell these guys, like, oh, don't worry, and try to do this and this and this. But when you're the fighter, it is a little bit different. But I try to keep I do a good job at both with coaching and fighting of keeping my composure. And I always tell my guys, and I tell myself, just keep that heart rate as low as you can, man. Like, don't get all psyched up. Try to stay as chill and zen as possible.
Yeah. It's easy to say it.
It is, man. It is. Once you get out there, your heart's pumping out of your chest. But that's why I tell them that, because you got to at least be stoic about it and do what you can. If you can at least maybe not eliminate the nerves, but limit the nerves, then that's better than nothing.
All right. Tyler, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much.
This is Gardy with Clear Life Combat. Tyler Thackston versus Nian Beck, 3-0 versus 3-0. It's going down Elevate Fight Night 1, January 12th. It's on a Friday. You can watch from anywhere in the world at clearlifemedia.com.